Okay, I'm back to the notes. I had a little bit of time. Um, so apologize. I got a little bit emotional. These stories come to life for me when I read them, and usually I kind of reread a little bit really quick, or just kind of go over it to kind of familiarize myself with it because I got the Bible down for the most part down in my heart. But sometimes little details I like to go over, make sure I don't miss anything, and but yeah, when you read these things and you can relate, it's such a beautiful thing. So Joseph went back to the land. His father was able to see him, and he gave his brothers everything. And I was crying because I was getting to the emotion of the story where he hadn't seen his brothers for so long, and he finally got to see him, and they cried because they missed him. So he was finally accepted as out of love, and they cried and they wept. And Joseph did the same, and that's a beautiful thing when you're able to embrace your family in that way. When you haven't seen them in so long, or even just to hug them, it's a beautiful thing. So, excuse me for that emotion, but then he gave his brother Benjamin the extra five, and um, like this reminded me so much. Even as I was reading it, I kind of got this sensation feeling of that's what Christ does for us. He comes back and brings us everything that we need, that we're going to need for the journey, for the famine, for the times that we're going to have the hard times. So always, that's why these things are so nice, so beautiful. I don't just read them in one I do, like I said, you first get the basics down, but you don't. Once you know the Holy Scripture a little bit more, and you know how Christ works in your life, and you build that relationship with God through Christ, you're able, because He is our mediator. There's no way to get to God unless Christ is there. He is our mediator. He is our sin offering. He is our sin offering. He's our Redeemer. He's our Savior. It's really simple to understand that. If you don't, it's just really simple. Don't let nobody has to pound it in your head. It's not hard to understand or conceive that we're sinners and we don't have enough to offer for our sins. So I'll leave it at that and I'll come back. And like I said, just get the lands. He was coming back, and the whole process of him coming and leaving, how he said, I'm not, he told his brothers, I'm not mad at you. And I also got emotional at that because I've told people that I've seen God do things in my life that I can't get mad at people, or like I said, that Christ said, you wouldn't have this authority unless it was given to you. I mean, there's certain things that are going to happen that we have no control over, and at the time they might seem pretty hectic, but it's just God does things, and we won't understand, and we can't blame people. This is a spiritual fight, spiritual battle, sometimes, and we cannot. If you're living in God's will, like Joseph was, there is no reason to get shaken or scared or worried. Yes, we will, because we're flesh, and just like Jesus, he was hungry, and he went out for the 40 days of temptation and did all that stuff. It does not change the fact that God is there and He has a plan for us. And if you're established with God, no matter what comes your way, nothing's going to change that. So I would always tell you to just never lose that. Know who you are in God and what He has put in your heart. What you look at and you care for the most, whether it's people, whether it's He gives everybody like special gifts and talents. So, and I believe everybody's capable of everything, but there's certain things that are put in your heart because of the way you're raised, things you went through. And so He enables you to be stronger in that sense, in those things. So don't lose that, because once you have that, nothing can stop you except Him. And the only thing can stop you is from this life in the flesh, and you'll want to be with Him. So it's not nothing terrible to look forward to either. So it's a win-win. Okay, and then, like I said, look at everything He didn't mention. You gotta understand. So Jacob is telling him now, okay, we're gonna have 5 lands of we're gonna have famine. I want you to get my father, take him and bring him back here, so he won't have to suffer for his cattle or anything. So he'll have, and he'll be provided for with more than anything he could ever want will be here for him in this land. He said, bring everybody here. And this is what's happening in this process. And what's so beautiful also is that what it says in the end, closing these verses, they're so beautiful. And it reminds me right here that he said Joseph had his father's spirit was revived. And I always like I said, I tie these things into so many things, but I could imagine God seeing Christ suffer or Joseph suffer, and then I could imagine the day and the glory of um, our Resurrection Sunday, our, during our Passover that we just had. I could imagine my Father's God's delight then to not just see Jesus raised up, but that all His children would be raised with Him, because there was a way was made, a light, so we could see that we wouldn't have to be in the dark. So take those things to heart. It doesn't matter when you go through things. There is a light. There's no reason to stay in the dark. And I'll be back tomorrow, maybe later on today. I don't know. See how my day goes. I don't know. I'm busy. So yeah, we'll go back and we will be at. And that's it. All right, thanks. Okay. Take a stop it today.